everyone, welcome to Nomad Yoga. In this video we'll be working with the traditional Tensegrity Series. With a slight change, I'm adding in circular movements to a lot of the Tensegrity exercises. And the reason for adding in circles is I found that this really helps to energize the body more because there's no stopping in the movement. So instead of moving the arm up and down like this, we'll be making a circle, and same with the hips. And you can see there's no end to the movement, there's just this continuous movement. Remember with the Tensegrity Series, always to stay within a sense of ease in your body. In other words, don't force anything. This is not about how far you go, it's about really being honest with yourself to stay within that realm of ease. What you'll need for this practice is a couple of poles. These are just dowel rods. One is about 45 centimeters, the other one is about 60 centimeters. And a foam block or wooden block, not very high. If you don't have a block, just use a hard-covered book. That works perfectly well. So let's begin lying on the back. And remember, this practice really you want to try and do it every day. If this practice is too long for you, just split it up into two. Do half the practice on one day and the other half on another day. And it's the regular practice where you will notice ease being your regular experience in your life. You don't want to do it just once a week. So then eventually you start to feel the sense of ease in all your movements, in whatever you're doing. So one other thing before we begin, if you have some of these blue toe spreaders known as Joya toes, you can put those on. They can be found at Joya Toes, Joya toes.com. And these really help to make the toe lines more clear by giving the toes something to kind of lean into, but also to separate the toes. And you'll find that these movements are a little more accurate and they feel somehow more clear with these toe spreaders on. Okay, so take a block and we're going to place the block under the pelvis. Both legs up into the air. Let the hips be heavy, let the ribs be heavy, let the head be heavy. And for all of these movements, make sure your chin is pointing straight up to the ceiling and not dropping down like this. So begin with long elliptical circles. As the legs come toward you, the elbows widen. As the legs move away from you, the elbows gather. Back and forth like this, long oval shape. Not trying to go too far, then change the direction of the circle, keeping the weight in the back of the head. Bend both knees now. Hands on the knees, knees forward, apart, around and together to make a circle in the hips. Releasing the shoulders as well as you do this. Freeing up any tension in the hip joints. Change direction of the circle. Hold both knees. For a moment, place the left foot onto the floor, drop the left knee out. Bring it back and across. Again, drop the left knee out. Bring it back and across. Hold the right knee, squeeze the left buttock, release. Keep holding the right knee, extend the left arm up. Take a breath up the back and into the belly. So you're extending that left leg down to about 90% of straight. One more breath. Hold both knees. Place the right foot onto the floor, drop the right knee out to the side, bring it back and across. Trying not to move the pelvis as you drop the knee out. Come back. Hold the left knee, extend the right leg down, squeeze the right buttock now. Release. Extend the right arm up and the right heel down. Take a breath up the back into the belly. One more breath like that. Hold both knees. Place the feet onto the floor. Remove the block from under your hips. Take your short pull behind your knees now. And we're going to make a little circular movement here, making a figure of 8 with the knees. So you can let your head turn with your legs as you do this movement. So again, don't try to go too far with this movement, just keep it within that realm of ease. Remove the pole from behind the knees. Same thing with the legs up in the air, drawing a little figure of 8 with the feet. And then bend both knees. Hands behind the head. Extend your left leg down. Lift the toes up and pull up your front thigh. Then flex the toes. Foot down, toes up, pull up the front thigh. Lift the pubic bone slightly. Flex. One more time, foot down, toes up, pull up the front thigh, and then flex the toes. Other side. Foot down, toes up, pull up the front thigh, flex, foot down, toes up, pull up the front thigh, flex. One more time, foot down, toes up, pull up the right front thigh, and flex. Rest your head down, take the fingers under the ribs, and we're going to swing the left leg up and down in a long elliptical circle. So it's an oval shape. And then change the direction of the circle. Keep the fingers pressing up into the diaphragm, weight in the back of the head. Switch sides. Take the right leg up and down in a long oval shape. Change direction. Turning onto your left side now. Support your head with your left hand. The lower leg is down and the top leg is bent like this. So we're going to make circles with the bottom leg. So my bottom leg is making clockwise circles and the arm is doing counterclockwise circles. Then change direction of the circles. So my leg is doing counterclockwise and my arm is doing clockwise. Bend both knees, feet together. Place your hand on your top hip and just lift the knee up and down like this without rolling the pelvis back. Once you've got the hang of that, you can bring the arm forward as the knee lifts. So that top arm is making a circle in this vertical kind of plane. Hook the little toe of the bottom foot down, then making a circle with the top leg. Kneecap faces toward your head. So it's not just straight up and down, but there's a little turn at the top and the bottom to create this oval shape. Again, this is in the vertical plane. Change direction of the circle. Straighten that leg. Turn the thigh out. Now for a moment, hold your right foot with your left hand. Take your right hand behind your head. Press your right foot into your left hand and try to keep that knee at about 90 degrees. Then relax completely. Press your foot into your hand again. Relax completely. One more time. Press your foot into your hand. Release. Come completely onto your side. Take the top leg back behind you like this and make circles in a backwards direction. And the other direction. Bend that knee. Hold the foot. If you can't hold the foot, use a belt. Keep your knee and hip and shoulder in line. Heel toward the outside of the buttock. Press your foot into your hands. Rest your head down. Pubic bone forward. Take a breath into the belly. Then, with the feet together, knees slightly apart, make circles with the top arm, like you're drawing a circle in the air with that top arm. Thumb and index finger together, known as the chin mudra. Change direction of that circle. And then rolling onto your other side, so you can just place your head away. So So starting with the bottom leg, so bend your top knee. So we're going to make circles with the bottom leg, and so my bottom leg is doing counterclockwise and my arm is doing clockwise circles. Change direction of the circle. So the leg is doing clockwise circles and the arm is doing counterclockwise. Bend both your knees. Rest your hand onto your leg, onto your hip like this, and just check that you can lift your top leg without rolling the pelvis back. The feet are together here and slightly lifted off the floor. Once you've got that happening, you can bring the arm forward as the knee lifts. So there's a little bit of a circle in this vertical plane with the arm. Little toe of the bottom leg down and making circles with the top leg, kneecap facing toward your head. So that again is a long elliptical kind of circle. Change direction of the circle. Then straighten the top leg, turn the thigh out, straighten the knee. Hold that left foot with your right hand now. Support your head with your left hand. Left knee at about 90 degrees if possible. Press your foot into your hand now. Release, relax. Press your foot into your hand. Let go. One more time, press your foot into your hand. Release. Come completely onto your side now. Take the top leg back. Make circles in a backward direction with that top leg. Change direction of the circle. Bend your knee, heel toward the outside of the buttock, knee, hip and shoulder in line, pubic bone forward. Take a breath into the belly. Feet together, knees slightly apart, and making a circle in the air with the top arm. Change direction. So you've got chin mudra, thumb and index finger together, and you're freeing up any tension in that top shoulder. Come onto your back now. Short pole behind the knees. A mini roll up. So it's like I'm drawing a circle around the sacrum. Change direction of the circle. Then remove the pole from behind the knees. Same thing, a long elliptical kind of circle with the legs up in the air. As the legs come toward you, bring the chin in slightly. As the legs move away from you, let the head drop back into the hands. Change direction of the circle. So if you were going to stop halfway through, this would be a good place to stop, and then you can do the next half on another day. So next we'll lie onto the back again with the block under the hips. So taking a block under your hips on your back, take both legs up into the air, and we're going to make circles with the legs now, with one leg making a circle in a clockwise direction and the other leg in a counterclockwise direction. So instead of just straight up and down like this, you're making little circles. Take your hands onto your face, spread the skin out across your face from the center out and up, and then make your circles with your legs. Keep your head heavy, your ribs heavy, your hips heavy. And then change direction of the circles. Then same arm and leg. Now we're moving the arms with the legs, so the right leg and arm are moving in a clockwise direction, and the left leg and arm are moving in a counterclockwise direction. And then change direction. So right leg and arm moving in a counterclockwise, and left leg and arm moving in a clockwise direction. It can take a little while to get the hang of that, but you will eventually. Bend both knees. Rub the hands together, place the palms of the hands over the eyes, extend the legs out one at a time in a kind of bicycle action. Make sure the weight is in the back of the head and that the front ribs are heavy. Then lean the weight slightly to the right side of the pelvis. Make circles with the hips, bringing the knees together, around and back together again. Change direction of those circles. So the hands are still over the eyes. Then come back to center. Lean the weight to the left side. Same thing, circles with the hips. Legs come together, around and back together again. Change direction of those circles. Then back to center, hands behind the head, making circles with the hips. Legs come together, around and back together again. Let your head rest back into your hands. Change direction of the circles. Rest your head down. Fingers under the ribs, pressing up into the diaphragm. Bend and straighten the knees, making a little circle as you do that. So again, it's one of these long oval shapes. Change direction of the circle. Particularly good for lubricating the knees. Then fingers over the collarbones, change direction again. So I'm pressing down over the collarbone with my fingers. And then change direction again. Then finally opposite arm and leg. So just nice and light and easy. So this is not circles. This is one of the few times we'll just move straight back and forth. You can let the head turn each time the arm comes up. So I've got left arm moving with right leg, right arm moving with left leg. Bend both knees, remove the block from under your hips. Take the short pole behind the knees again. Long pole between the hands for the second twist. So drawing a little figure of 8 with the knees. Try to keep your knees close together if possible. And then remove the pole from behind the knees. If you need to take a block under your hips for this, you can, if it's difficult for you to lift your legs like this. So we're making circles with both arms and both legs, like this. So it's like a double set of wings. Change direction of the circles. Then a little roll up again, but this time we're going to bend the knees as we take the legs away. So as you bring the legs toward you, bring the chin in a bit. As the legs move away from you, let the head drop back into the hands. Change direction of the circle. Bend both knees. Some shoulder movements. Place the block under the hips again. Take your short pole between your middle and index fingers like this. So the pole is in the center like that. Then lean the leg slightly to your right. Bring the pole in line with the midline of the body and parallel to the floor, making circles in that plane. So it's the horizontal plane as you move with these circles. Change direction of the circles. Keep the weight in the back of the head. Then take both legs to the left side. Again, circles either in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction, freeing up any tension in the shoulders. So you're keeping the pole in line with the midline of the body. Change direction of the circle. Then take the legs slightly apart, reach up into the outside edge of the foot. And with both arms straight, you're making a long oval shape circle Change direction of the circle. Bring your feet together. Take both legs slightly to the right again, left foot slightly toward you, right foot slightly away, thumb and index finger together, making circles in the vertical plane from the hands being together at the top and then coming around and together at the bottom. Palms are facing away from you. Change direction of the circle, so out at the bottom and back together at the top. Keep the weight in the back of the head. And then lean the legs to the left. Circles out at the top and back together at the bottom. So your left foot is slightly away from you, right foot is slightly toward you. Change direction of the circle. Then lean the legs to the right again, this time palms facing toward you, left foot toward you, right foot away. Circles in that vertical plane again. Change direction of the circle, out at the bottom and together at the top. Then legs to the left, right foot slightly toward you, left foot slightly away. Circles with the arms. And the other direction. Bend both knees, place your feet onto the floor, making circles from this direction, so palms face toward you and then around so that the back of the hands touch. So you're going to follow the hands with the eyes here, so that your eyes are drawing a circle, first of all, in a clockwise direction. So your arms just keep doing the same thing. The eyes follow one hand and then the other, so that you're drawing a circle with the eyes. Then change the eye direction now, so you're going to follow the other hand so that you're drawing a circle in a counterclockwise direction now. And then remove the block from under the hips and let the legs bring you up from there. Hold both knees in close toward you. Lean back a little. Bring the ribs back. Lift the legs as far as you comfortably can. So for this first round, we'll place the heels onto the floor. Walk the heels away from you. Roll the pelvis back. Bring the ribs in. Come back up to sitting. So you may want to do that same one again with the heels down, and then eventually progress to lifting the heels. Lean back a little. Lift the legs, reach forward with the arms, relax the shoulders. Roll the pelvis back, bring the ribs in, either with the heels down or heels lifted. Come back up from there. One more time. Lean the head back a little. Bring the ribs in. Lift the legs. Roll the pelvis back. Bring the ribs in. Come back up from there. If you're wearing toe spreaders, you may want to take them off for this one. Bend one leg. So 3 options for this one. Option 1 is to stay like this. With the hands behind you, you'll notice I've got some length through the heel. So the leg is not like this, but it's more in this position. Take the outer ankle in a little, squeeze the outer ankle in. Option 2, if you're feeling comfortable there, is to come onto your elbows. Same action in the leg, nothing changes. And option 3 is to come down onto your back, like this, and let the head turn side to side. So you decide which is the best option for you. Coming up from there, switching sides. So again, option 1 is bend the knee, squeeze the outer ankle in a little bit. So you don't want the ankle sticking out like that. You want to squeeze it in so that the top thigh and calf are in a good alignment. Option 2 is coming onto the elbows. And option 3, coming all the way down onto the back. Letting the head turn side to side. Keep that left foot firmly pressed down into the floor. And the final exercise for this Tensegrity series is on the hands and knees and slightly forward of the shoulders. Lift your ribs, sit a little back toward your heels. Inhale, then come forward, keep the head dropped and let the hips come all the way through. Again, lift the ribs, release the head, sit toward your heels, lift up again, keep the ribs lifted, keep the head released, come all the way forward. Couple more like that. Sit back toward your heels. Come forward. And one more time. Take a rest in this position, either with the hands forward or with the hands back, and just stay like this for a couple of minutes. You can pause the video at that point if you want to stay there longer. So that completes the full Tensegrity series using circular movements. I hope that this is a practice that can challenge you just enough to keep things interesting in the body and will also bring a sense of ease and flow to the body. Thanks for joining me today on Nomad Yoga. Namaste.